captaincy. How have you seen that handover role going, and how do you think the junior boys are going?
Oh, great. It's been a nice change for everyone, actually. I think it was a perfect time for the footy club. Couldn't have been two more perfectly suited candidates in Jiza and Lukey, and they're doing a great job as well at the moment. They're finding their feet a little bit, but they're also embracing the role and really enjoying it, which is great. So I think it's worked out well for everyone.
Nat Fire spoke yesterday about going through the decision and then having to deal with his emotions and then looking at it logically. Did you go through a similar process in the handover period?
A little bit, but I think for me, I thought it was probably time to do this. This year was perfect with the new coach coming on board. It just makes sense. We've been through a pretty tough period over the last few years, and I was more than happy to sort of handle that load a little bit myself with the support of our leadership group. And Jiza and Lukey were great supports for me going through those years. The last few years we've had and a number of different coaches. So I think there's a little bit of a greater level of stability at our footy club at the moment. So for Jiza and Lukey to come on board with Clarko as our coach, for me it was an easy decision. I was ready, the boys were ready, and it was just about signing off and ticking off and making it official, which we've done. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what those boys can do for our footy club leading into this year, but also in the next 5-10 years as well, and where they can take this group, because it's a bloody exciting time to be at our footy club.
Do you miss being captain already?
No, not really. There's some bloody good perks about being the skipper of a team, and probably what I will miss is the game day feeling of running out first and all the boys behind you. But I've done it for a number of years, and I'll be very happy to run out behind Lukey and Jiza, and hopefully they can lead us to a successful era this next few years.
The new coach, what sort of impact has he had so far?
Oh, Clarko's been unbelievable. I think from afar, I actually never met Clarko before him stepping foot into Arden Street when he was appointed. But heard a lot about him, had a few mates that played at Hawthorn, spoke very highly of him. But to see him work close up, and I think for him to go away for 12 months and work on his craft, refine what he exactly wanted to be as a coach and his game plan, and the way he treats people, the way he builds relationships with not just players but everyone in the whole footy club, has really reshaped our footy club. I'm not sure if you guys have been down here after a couple of our training sessions, but seeing the kids behind the oval coming out for a kick, and Clarko makes that a priority for us. It's not just about us as footballers. It really is about us as people and how we can become better people first, and secondly, better footballers that will make us a better club. So it's been a welcome change, and the game plan stuff that he's introduced has been awesome. He's a master coach, and it's been awesome to work with him. Some of his tactical stuff has been great. As a senior player and an older guy, to get that at the latter part of your career is really exciting. You can see how it all unfolds and works, and hopefully it brings us back up the ladder very quickly.
Can you give us a little insight as to the game plan and how it is shaping up?
Yeah, hopefully you see a bit of it over the next few weeks, maybe a little bit today. I heard somewhere the other day there's a bit of a whirlpool going on, one of the articles, so we might roll with that as well. But he's changed a few things, but in all, like every team is very similar with what they try and do. There's three facets of the game in offence and defence and contest, and we're working really hard in all those facets of the game. We've had a few positional changes, getting some guys back like Ben Cunnington, Will Phillips in the midfield, a young guy who we've been starved of seeing for the last 18 months. He's had a full pre-season, he's really fit. So some guys coming through at the moment that we've missed over the last couple of years that are going to play big parts in our season this year. So it's going to be really exciting going forward.
Jack, what's your role looking like compared to last season on the field?
Yeah, I'm going to play down back a little bit this year. So I started down there when Nobes was our coach back in, I think it was 2021. Played a little bit forward last year, and Clarko sees me playing my role down back a little bit more this year, which I'm really looking forward to.
You almost ticked off all the spots in the bingo card in the division. What sort of role down back? You sort of intercepting and designated kicker a little bit under Nobes. Is that similar? Do you think you play this year?
A little bit. Probably various roles at different times. We're pretty flexible down there. I mean, recruiting Griffin Logue is a big get for us from Freo. He's a big bloke, but he can play. He's very versatile, very athletic. So him and Aidan Core, especially, big Benny Mackay shows that he can take big, tall, strong key forwards and play on little guys as well. So I think down there we'll all probably play different roles. Some rebounding, some intercepting, some jobs we'll have to do as well at times. So the flexibility we'll have in the back six, I think is going to be really exciting.
Have you changed up anything during the pre-season to try and get yourself ready for the year? Anything different?
Yeah, every year is probably a challenge to try and reinvent yourself as a player, and I think it's important to do that, especially later in your career, to try and make yourself stay relevant and try and continue to get a game and beat all the young guys out for spots. So I lost a few kilos in the off-season working with the fitness guys, which enabled me to pretty much do every session so far this pre-season, which has been the first time for a few years I've been able to do that, which has been good.
Cam Zerha looks like he's also maybe changed body shape a little bit. Do you expect to see him pinch it a bit more through the midfield?
I think we might see that a little bit. But Cam's had an outstanding pre-season. I think he's starting to get a level of maturity in his game as well, understanding the ability to be able to, obviously kick the big goals in the big moments, but also his ability to bring his teammates in the game is something that's really stood out for me this pre-season. So he's been a great teammate so far. Looking forward to him hopefully getting up the ground a bit more involved in the game, but hopefully he can still have a big impact around goals for us this year as well.
Is this the most sort of optimistic you've been for a while, heading into a season? I mean, there's been a lot of, I don't know, it just hasn't been organised. It's been tough the last few years, as you've mentioned, with the various hierarchies. But do you sense as a senior player that that's all behind you now?
I do. It is a good time of the year though, Rob, with every team. You haven't played opposition yet, so everyone's flying, everyone's as fit as they ever have been. And we have one team out there that wins and one team that loses, so the coaches go to work every week. But in terms of that level of stability, I think I can only speak on my behalf as a senior player who has been around a little while, but this is probably the most stable we have been off-field with the crew we've got at the moment for a long time. You couple that with the young group we've got coming through at the moment, we have some elite talent on our list. Some of the young players coming through, especially in the midfield area, and not to discount our key position players, but we've got some really exciting young kids, and you just put the likes of like a Luke Davies-Uniacke with Clarko, and I can just see how this is going to unfold. So it's going to be really exciting, and I'm looking forward to getting to work. There is no doubt that we've got a lot of hard work to do. We finished 18th last year, that's reality. So the boys are under no illusions that it's just going to happen for us. We've got to make it happen. There is a good feeling here, it's optimistic and positive, but we're understanding that we need to do a lot of hard work, and we're in the midst of that at the moment, and coming in every day, getting better and working our butts off to try and start that climb back up the ladder where we belong.
Can it happen quickly? Do you see like a Collingwood last year?
It's a great example. I'd love to go back and see the expert predictions last pre-season of where everyone had Collingwood. I don't think many people would have had them, a point off from playing a grand final. So there's different examples all over the world of underdog teams coming up and improving really quickly, but we're not looking too far ahead. We're looking session by session, week by week, and I know you guys hate that cliche, but that's the reality of footy. Because as soon as you start looking, a month ahead, we play this team over there, then you lose sight of this week. You get this competition, you're going to get blown away. So for us, each week, match simulation for us is really important. Learning new systems, game plans under Clarko. We're taking every lesson really, and we're learning really, really quickly. Trying to implement that under pressure, under fatigue. Starting to play, practice matches in the next couple of weeks against genuine opposition is an exciting time as well because we get to test ourselves. So it's an exciting couple of months, the February-March period when games start rolling around, and as I said, we're really positive about where we're sitting right now.
What kind of challenge has the whole Tarryn Thomas situation been to that off-field stability? Obviously, he was going to stay, and now he's walked away from the club for a period of time.
Yeah, well, obviously the club made the decision. Taz, and as a player, there's probably not too much more I can comment on that. I mean, we've got a job to do on the field. We come in, we've got to get our work done. So yeah, the club obviously has made the decision, and as players, we just got to come in and do our work.
Notice Paul Curtis has been wearing Tarryn's number out on the track. Does that show a support for him?
I don't think so. I think that's the only one that might fit him. So yeah, I don't think. I don't know if there's any correlation.
Have you spoken to Taz since he's been away?
I have reached out. Yeah.
And do you see that as part of your responsibility as a senior player, just to check in?
Absolutely. I check in on all our players, and that will continue, whatever they're going through.
And how's he going?
I think he's going okay. He's obviously been a tough time, but there's probably not too much I can comment on the situation, guys, only because the AFL Integrity Unit, no doubt, are doing their research, and we don't have too many facts. So, yeah, it's been on.
During today's match sim, Jason came off kind of pointing at his leg and didn't come back out. Do you know if there are any concerns there initially?
I don't think so. I had a bit of a chat to Jais at half time, and he said he was a little bit tight in his hammy, so I said, mate, just don't bother risking that. It's actually been a really big block for us the last 2 weeks, so I think today was sort of like the last really big main session we've got, so there's just a no-risk policy, I think, with a few of the boys. I think there's a few boys towards the end of the session that might have not quite finished the whole session, but as I said, Jais is going really well. There's no stress there.
Sonia Hood, some tough news regarding her. How's the club? Can you describe how the club has got behind Sonia at this time?
Yeah, it is. It's devastating for Sonia, but she's our leader and she's a very strong character. I think she would have felt the whole support of the North Melbourne Football Club, from directors all the way down through the playing group to the coaches to the staff members, all the way through to our members and supporters. And to be fair, like, the whole footy industry is a pretty cool place when something like this happens. So we're doing everything we can to support Sonia. She's a bloody tough cookie. She's one of the great shin boners, and she's going to take this battle on head on, and I've got no doubt she'll beat it.